That way we have this in the event that anybody has a question afterwards of what exactly did you guys talk about? Excellent. Well, welcome everybody. I'm going to go ahead and get us kicked off here. We are right at the beginning of the hour. I want to make sure we use effective use of our time. I know some of you guys are multitasking. Many of you are doing a couple other things. So I just want to say, first of all, I really appreciate you joining us and thank you for taking the time to listen in and see how some of the technology elements that we'll be talking about here with MoeGo can benefit you and your business. So a few housekeeping items. First of all, I am going to go ahead and mute everybody in Zoom. So you'll all be muted, but that does not at all mean that I want you to sit on the sidelines and be quiet. As we're going through the demo, if there's an element that you don't understand or something you'd like better explained, please feel free to just hop in and say, hey, can you go through that again or help me understand it a little bit more? There's a mute button in your app that you're using for Zoom, so feel free to unmute yourself at any point that you have a question or need some additional clarification. So what we're going to be doing today, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody, but you all can unmute yourselves at any point you need to. What we're going to be doing today is going through the MoeGo tool. I'm going to be showing you a lot of our key features and some of what we can do, and ultimately answering the question, what can MoeGo do for me and how can it help me in my business? And so a little bit about MoeGo. Those of you who are here, a lot of you already connected with it, and maybe you heard about this on Facebook or on a user group. But ultimately, it is a tool that we've created from the ground up to assist mobile groomers in serving their community and their customers. And so I'm really excited to show you some of our key features that we think really set this apart. Let me tell you about who I am. My name is Isaac Garcia, and I originally have a background as a process technology consultant. I like helping people find ways to bring agile thinking and agile processes into their businesses to make them more efficient and effective. And what I really love is seeing how MoeGo is tying technology and process improvement together. I think it really helps any business that's a mobile dog grooming business or a dog grooming business at large, helps them manage their customers and their clients effectively. So let's jump in a little bit to what it is that I think sets MoeGo apart and some of the benefits that you might have in using it. So first of all, the big concept in MoeGo is that you've got everything in one place. And I'm actually going to go ahead and share from my phone, and we're going to take a look at what MoeGo looks like. I'll tell you, when I first was experiencing MoeGo and checking it out, the thing for me, by the way, you can start with a free demo and see how the service works on a limited scale. But the thing for me that caught my attention was that in using MoeGo, there are so many features that can help you not only understand your client base better, but serve them effectively. So let me go through a few of those first of all. And so this is a view of the mobile app that you're seeing if you're watching the share. If you're just on your phone, just listening to me, you'll be able to still hear what I'm talking about. But I'm right now sharing the view of the app itself. And the powerful thing about the app is the CRM feature, the customer relationship management, right? The first thing that we all have to manage in our business is how do we work with our customers and how do we understand them? So I'm not sure how you're doing it in your businesses right now. Maybe you're using a spreadsheet to manage them. Maybe you're using something else, Excel or some other CRM tool. But what's really wonderful about using MoeGo to manage your customer base is that it gives you the information that you as a groomer need to know about your customers. So this is our customer list inside the app. As we tap into one of them, we tap into Bob Barton here. It shows me some information about Bob that's going to be useful for my understanding of how to serve him as one of my customers. So of course you got your contact information, your phone number, your email, where is that person located. But you also see the top right, it says they're Bully and has a picture of his dog. It also tracks the pets associated with each customer. And so, of course, if you're just using a normal CRM tool, you're going to be tracking individuals. This helps you track individuals and their pets as well. As we go down, we see some information about them. You've got appointments. You can see their upcoming appointments if you've scheduled them out going into the future. You can see any private notes that you've added about them. And then digital agreements. If there's a specific agreement that you say, I need a person to sign this or agree to this before I'm going to do service on their dog, you can track those digital agreements and people's acceptance of that all within the tool. And so that's a very handy feature. As we look down, we'll talk a little more about auto messages a little bit further and how you can send reminders. There's a whole suite of that. But what I really want to show is that not only does it track information right now about the person, but it also tracks information about the dog. So I'm going to tap into Bully here, and there can be multiple pets per owner. But I tapped into Bully, and now it's showing me information about the dog itself. And so you can see the birth date, what type of gender, what type of coat, how much it weighs. You can track behavior, if it's fixed or not, vaccinated, and even keep comments on that particular dog. And so this is helpful because it's great to know, it's great to know about Bob, right? Where does he live? Where am I going to find the dog? What is his phone number? But you really need to know information about the dog going forward too. So we're not just managing our customers with this, we're also managing the pets associated with that customer. So that's a very useful tool in understanding multiple pets, and you'll be able to see people and see what dogs are associated with them so that you can provide service to them. So that's the CRM view. So let's talk for a second about now. So we have these people and we have upcoming appointments. I want to see what those appointments look like. So inside the app, we have several different views that we can look at our appointments for. Now I've got some appointments set up for tomorrow. It's Tuesday. And as I look at it, this is the first view you have, which is the map view. What's really great about the map view is this allows you to visualize your day as you're going to be moving around the city. And so as you can see here, I've got 1, 2, and you can see my different appointments. Then I'll go to 3 and 4 and then 5. And I can swipe through at the bottom and look at each of my upcoming appointments, and it'll just walk me through. This is going to be what my day looks like. So I can swap through those and see my day. Another way that you can view your day is at the top here. You've got this calendar feature. And so I can switch it to what does my hours look like. So I have my hours put in here. I'm starting at 9 is when I start. That's a pretty late start for a groomer. But I'm starting at 9 and I can see all of my appointments and a nice calendar view for the day so I can go down and look at them. If I tap on one of these, let's say I want to look at Dylan Dixon's appointment. I want to get some more information about that. If I tap into it, it's going to open up. It's going to show me information about that dog. It's going to be right there at the top. What's the service that I'm doing? And so I can see here, okay, 60 minutes is what I expect it to take. It's going to be $90 when I'm done with it. If you have a picture of the dog associated there, it comes up. And then I can scroll down and I see information about the customer, right? So there's their information. And if you want to contact them, and this is what I really love, there's so much intuitive control built in here. So let's say I'm looking at this information. I think, okay, I want to give, Dylan Dixon a call. I need to, reschedule or get some information. If I tap on Dylan Dixon's card there, it brings up his information. And from here, I can just tap on that phone and it gives me the option. Hey, do you want to text him or do you want to call him? So literally everything kind of being built into one place. If I wanted to look at an appointment, look at the dog, send a message, I can tap through very quickly and get to those screens in a very intuitive way as I go through here. So I'm going to go back to the appointment. Another thing that's really nice about this, I don't know what your experience is like, but a lot of times you'll have somebody who will get you book the appointment and then they forget or they get the days mixed up. One of the nice benefits here is we've got a confirmed tab for each of our meetings. When you first set up an appointment, it's not going to be confirmed. It's going to say unconfirmed. I'll mark this one as unconfirmed. It's going to be unconfirmed. Now, I can confirm it a number of ways. I can call or I can text that person, but built into the tool, there's an automatic messaging feature that you can turn on where when you set an appointment for someone, it automatically sends them a message and they can see, oh, I have an appointment coming up and whether or not they want to confirm it. Let me go ahead and show that to you really quickly. So what I've done is I've created a user that has my phone number in it. So anything that would go to the phone of the person is actually going to come to my phone here. So I'm looking at Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up, and I see I've got a few appointments, but I'm going to go ahead and add a new appointment from an existing client. What I've got down here is Frank Fisher, who has the phone number that I'm going to use here, and Frank has Lady. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yep, Lady's the dog that I want to do it on. If there's multiple pets, you could pick several pets. So if you have lots of services back to back, or if you're just going out to see one pet instead of all the pets at one time, you can select that here. So for Lady, I want to see what service am I going to do. There's a completely customizable array of services that match with what you're trying to provide. If you provide certain levels of service, we can match that in the setup. And you can go down and see all the different options that are available. And you can even have add-ons up here that if there's something specific you want to add on, a special shampoo or some kind of perk for the animal, you can add that on here. But we're just going to go to services and we're going to say Lady's going to get a medium service right there. So I'm going to add that to this appointment. And now I've got to select a time for the appointment. So I'm going to go ahead and go to select it. And I've already got Wednesday up because that's where I had originally said. And I can see now, as I'm scheduling this appointment, I can see my other appointments for the day in a map view. So I can see that where they're at generally in the city. So you get some intelligent routing as you start looking at, okay, where do I want to put this appointment? And so I can also see down here at the bottom that it's going to be a 9-minute drive from my previous appointment. That really helps you not get yourself booked up to where there's 2 appointments back to back and you might miss or get there late to your next appointment because you forgot to factor in drive time, especially if it's a long drive time. And the scenario here, Amarillo, everything's very close together. So there's not a whole lot of drive time in between these. So it's a 9-minute drive time. So that time looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and say next. And what should happen when I add this appointment, because I've got my automatic notifications turned on, you'll notice it's unconfirmed. Oh, but a text message came through. Let's take a look at this text message. This is all built into the automatic notification side of the tool. And what it says here is, oh, look, from Agile Tech Coach, that's the name of my grooming company. Terrible name for a grooming company, but your appointment is booked for this time. And so what I can do then is set up a yes, no. They can reply back with a Y. They can reply back with an N, but set it up to where they're able to actually confirm their appointment inside of this text message. So the person could simply reply back with a yes, and that could say, okay, you have now confirmed your appointment. So it's a very handy way of managing your, oh, look, new message from Frank Fisher. Handy way of managing your client base. Let's go look real quick at the messaging feature. And this is one of the best features that I really like about this for a multi-van situation or if you have multiple employees. So if you're starting out and it's just you and all of your clients, then this is a helpful tool. But if you've scaled or are thinking of scaling to lots of different employees or maybe multiple vans, this is going to be something that's going to completely change your world. Because what happens is MoeGo filters all the communication with your clients into one interface. You say, well, why is that important? Well, let's just say, for example, that you've got a groomer who's going to work for you. So you've got your van, and then you hire someone else to work another van and you send them out. Well, as the admin of the tool and of the account, you're going to be able to see the conversation happening in real time with all of your clients. So one of your groomers is out there in the field and they're going to go give Frank Fisher, they're going to go serve Frank Fisher. And so they communicate, hey, I'm going to tell Frank that I'm on my way or I'll be there in 10 minutes, something like that. So they put in their message, I'm on my way. And there's an ETA feature in the tool that can help you communicate when you're getting there. But let's just say that your groomer in the field is sending this. Well, if the groomer in the field sends that, you're back at the back office or you're already on another, there's the text message that came through. You're on another call in your van. From your app as the administrator, you can see that conversation happening in real time. So you're actually now, instead of just telling your groomers, well, just text the person or you just call them, you actually can put all the conversation in one place. So let's say that the next week, another groomer or you are going to go and help Frank with his grooming needs. You can go back and see all that conversation history in one place. So it's not all over, it's not lost, it's not, I have to text this person and ask them what they talked about, but you can actually manage it all in one place. So this is inside the app right now. You can send a message from inside the app. It texts the person. If the person texts a reply, so let me go back over to my text screen, wherever my texts are here. And so I just see that I got a text from MoeGo, say, I'm going to reply back and say, great. Wow, if I could type, great. Come on over. And now that I've sent that, it's going to go back into the app. And so inside of the app, you'll be able to see that conversation happening in real time. So you don't have to worry about jumping to your text window. You can literally manage all of your conversations with your clients inside of MoeGo, the app itself. So you're not having to bounce around to go here and there. So that's really one of the handy parts. If you're in a van and you're driving or you're going from place to place, you don't want to be swiping through lots of different screens and different distractions while you're trying to get to where you're going. You want everything to be in one place and be simple to access. So let's go back to Wednesday and we're going to look at our map view here. So here's our map view for Wednesday. What I will see is that on Wednesday, I've got now Frank scheduled as my number 3 appointment. So let's bring that up. Frank is my third one. Well, here, Wednesday. There we go. So on Wednesday, go down here to Frank. You can see him open up the appointment, and he's going to be scheduled in with all the details there for him. Now, from this screen, one of the all of it being in one place elements that we have, I can cancel the appointment. So let's say I'm working away another dog, and I get a message from Frank, hey, can't do it today, got to move, can't do it, going out of town for a year. I could cancel it right here with one tap on the cancel button. If he says, I can't do it today, but I'd like to do it tomorrow. Well, right inside the app, I can hit the reschedule button, and that allows me to look at my schedule and see when the next available time to reschedule him is. Oh, look, I can put him at that time, or I can even look at maybe the next day that's available. So we've got Thursday. I can scroll through Thursday and see what Thursday looks like. And again, when you're on a certain day, let me go back to looking at like Tuesday, for example. I can see all of my other appointments on this map view, and that helps me to understand, okay, he's way out there. I don't want to book something out of my way where someone has to go one way and come back the other way. And so that helps you to find the best available time to put Frank in. We can say, okay, we're going to reschedule him to that time. And so, okay, we're going to have to notify that person. So it's got it built in now. If you make a change, then you can send a notification and update the person. Oh, look, we've rescheduled your appointment. And that allows you to manage them there. One other quick thing, I don't know if you've had this experience, but you're driving or you're going somewhere, you're trying to get to your next appointment, you're rushing, and you know an appointment's coming up and you need to get a hold of Frank. Something came up. Right here, you've got a contact button inside of the appointment. And what that allows you to do is immediately contact the person that you're going to go see. So let's just say on like Tuesday, I've got Carly here. I'm going to go into Carly. I can hit the contact button and says, how do you want to contact Carly? Do you want to send Carly your ETA? Do you want to text Carly, or do you want to call Carly? And so with 2 taps inside the app, I can immediately jump over and phone call, text, or automatically send an ETA to say, hey, I'm on my way to you, and using GPS give you an ETA of how long it's going to take me to get to you. All right, so let's go back here. I'm overlapping a few of these features and going pretty fast. I'm going to take a big deep breath and pause for just a second, because I'm throwing a lot of features at you, and I'll talk about how they all tie together here in just a second. But I do want to pause and ask, on the features that I've touched on, or if you came to this webinar saying there's something specifically that I want to see, unmute or throw it in the chat window and ask me if you have a question right now, or if there's anything that I've maybe skimmed over that you need a little bit deeper dive in. So I'm just going to take a couple of seconds to pause and see if there's anything like that. By the way, welcome to all of our 13 participants. We've got 13 people in here right now. Several are listening, and everyone's on mute, so nobody's jumping in with questions. So I'm just going to carry ahead and keep demoing a few more of our features. I will also pause at the end, hopefully give us about 15 minutes at the end for any Q&A time. So if there is a feature you want to see that I don't get to, then by all means, at the end, I'll have you unmute or put it in the chat so that I can address that particular feature and make sure that you see what you're looking to see during our demo here. All right, so we talked about customer relationship management, how we manage the customer and the dog. We talked about digital agreements. We looked a little bit at the master calendar. Let me show you one more thing in the master calendar that is very handy, and it's this concept of blocks. And so you can put blocks in on your calendar. So I'm sure you've had this experience where you go to book something, you book it, and then when looking at calendars side by side, maybe at the moment you weren't looking at your personal calendar, and what happens is you overlapped, and so you've now booked on top of something you needed to not book on top of. One of the features in MoeGo, I'm going to go to Monday here and show you, let's just say I have a softball game Monday morning and I just can't do anything on Monday. I can very quickly tap on that time block and add a block, and what that lets me do is say, okay, from 9 to, I don't know, noon, I'm going to have a block, and I'm going to put in there softball because I'm playing softball. The weather is really nice outside, and so now I can actually go through and block out my time so that I don't end up overbooking with one of my appointments. So you can also use this to manage if there is a reoccurring event that you have a person who recurs once every, say, 4 weeks, once every 6 weeks. you can put blocks in for upcoming events so that those recurrences, if you tell a new client today, hey, I want to book you for every Wednesday for 2 o'clock for the next 6 months, once a month for the next 6 months. When you put that into the tool and you create that recurrence, you'll actually see if you have a block on a Wednesday at 2 o'clock, it'll give you an error that says you have something at this time. That way you can immediately, as you're making the appointment, say to them, ooh, in 2 months, I've actually got something. Could I move you from 2 o'clock to maybe 3 o'clock on that day? And instead of discovering this on that Wednesday, when you realize, oh no, my calendar's conflicted, you can actually find this out earlier because all of your blocks and all of your appointments and all of your recurrences are all inside of one calendar. And so that's an incredibly helpful tool that you've got there. Speaking of recurrences, there is a recurrence engine inside of this if you wanted to take any appointment and make it recur. So this Bob Barton here on Tuesday, I'm just going to open that up. Down at the bottom of the appointment, I can make it repeat, and you can set that up whatever way your repeat schedule works. I can repeat every 1 week, every 4 weeks, repeat on a certain day, and I can start and end it as needed. And so I'll just show you as well. If I was to say, I want to do it weekly on Tuesday for 5 times, you've got this preview. If there was a conflict, if I was creating this recurrence and there was a conflict, it would show up here and allow me to resolve it, which is, again, just that helpful. You're not promising somebody, yeah, I'll be there every week or every month, and then all of a sudden you have to call them back and say, I'm going to have to reschedule because I didn't realize what my calendar looked like. So that should help you in making sure that your schedule is accurate with your clients as you're booking them. Speaking of booking them, I do want to show you as well. Let's just say I am on Tuesday and I'm at Brady's and I'm working with Brady here and I'm doing his Afghan Hound Beaker. It's a great name for a dog, Beaker. And so I'm washing Beaker and all of a sudden somebody sees my van and comes up and knocks on the door and bonk, bonk, bonk. And I open the window and say, oh, you're a mobile dog groomer. Hey, I live right down the street and I have a dog. I want you to wash them. Well, that's great. What do you do? Well, if you're inside of MoeGo, one of the things you can do is just grab your cell phone. Right up here at the top right, you've got the add button. So I'm going to push that plus, and it says I can add an existing client or add a new client. Well, this person who just walked up to my van is a new client. So I'm going to go and tap on new client and it says, okay, what's your location? And it already zooms in and kind of shows me the area around where I am at that point. And so I can pick, okay, I'm here. Maybe they're 3 houses down or 4 houses down, or I can find what their location is. But let's just say I want to send them because they're at this location. Let's go this Amarillo Route 66. That's where they are. They want a new appointment. So I'm going to grab that location. It says, okay, what's your estimated service time? So you would say to the person, what kind of dogs do you have? Are they large dogs, small dogs? Whatever you need to ask them to get an idea of how long the service is going to take. So let's just say you talk to them, you get an idea it's going to be about 60 minutes. Next step is you can check availability and say, well, let me see when I can next fit you in. And so the engine is going to think, it checked Monday, it checked Tuesday. It decided, hey, the next best time for you is going to be Wednesday because I didn't have any 60-minute time windows available. So for Wednesday, I could actually zoom in and see, okay, so if I put him in at this time, he'd be that 4th slot right after Ethan Eckstein. It's a 1-minute drive. Wow, he's close. That works really well for me. So you can say to them, hey, does this time work well for you? If they go, yeah, that seems like it'll work. Okay, hit next. Well, now that we have created an appointment, we've got to get the information for the person. So you say, hey, what's your name there? And the person says, my name is Tony. And you say, okay, Tony, it's great to meet you. And what's your last name? And I don't know. I'm not that great at coming up with names. I was trying to make all the first name and last names go together, but we'll just call him Tony Tim, which is kind of like Tiny Tim, but different. So I'm going to punch in my phone number for him. We're going to go 555-0109, I think is unique. So I've got his address, I've got his phone number, and I've got his name. I'm just going to say next. Oh, I've already used 09. Let me take 09 away. When you're using dummy data, sometimes you use the same phone numbers. So next it's going to ask about the dogs. I'm going to say, okay, the dog, what's the pet's name? Pet's name is Terry because all of these names start with T. And what kind of breed is it? It's going to be an Afghan Hound. Let's do that. That sounds exotic. That's all the information I need there to add the pet. And then I don't need to add any more pets. He's only got one. So I'm going to add that in and say, all right, I'm going to be there on that date. I'm going to give you a medium service. I've already got the time figured out. So I'm going to add this appointment. And what had happened is as the person's standing there right outside your van, they're going to get a text message that says, hi, from so-and-so dog groomer. We're just letting you know about your appointment. Text Y to confirm that you're going to be there. And they can, oh, great. They can hit Y, hit send. This would switch over from unconfirmed to confirmed. And all of a sudden, they walk away from your van literally in the span of 5 minutes. You've just created a new customer contact. So purely inside the app, you can be working, take a quick break from what you're doing, and generate a brand new, not just a lead, a brand new appointment. And it's now scheduled at a time when you're confident you can get to it because you know you're not going to have a block or a conflict. And you're able to then just show up on that day and know, here's my brand new client. And for them, the experience is excellent because they just said, oh, look, a mobile dog groomer. I need to do that at some point. I'm going to go see if they have an opening. And they're walking away with a text message from you saying, I'm going to be there at this time, and we're looking forward to seeing your pet, Terry, in this case. So it's amazing as it all comes together, the things that you can do. Maybe forget the mobile scene. Maybe you have someone who manages your back office. So you've got a person who sets up all your appointments. Somebody calls your business phone number. Hey, I'd like a new appointment. They can go through this exact same process. And again, in 5 minutes, create a new appointment that you know you're going to be able to fill, and then even get them to confirm it via a text message. It's an incredibly efficient way of setting up new customers. So that is one of the beauties of using this tool. It really helps you to add new customers quickly and get them an appointment right away if you're either on the job or if you're just trying to schedule them quickly. So we've talked about reminders. Oh, while we're here, let me jump back and show you the message settings. So here inside settings, I've got auto message down here at the bottom for premium setup. And so I'm going to go into auto message. These are the automatic messages you can have the tool send on your behalf. So for example, I have new appointment is booked turned on, and I want to put some custom verbiage in there. I can edit the message and put in my own information. If I want to include a disclaimer or a witty saying, I can add that in here. So whenever someone gets a new appointment created in the tool, it's going to automatically send them this information. I can go back also if an appointment is rescheduled. You saw that text message a second ago. If the appointment is canceled, and even an unconfirmed appointment reminder. Now this is powerful. Get this for a second. Automatically, you set up someone for an appointment. Hey, we're going to be there at 2 o'clock. Well, a day before at 8 a.m., that person can get a text message that says, hey, we haven't heard from you, or in this case, let's just look at the message, client name, your next appointment is coming at this time, and you could say to them, reply yes to confirm or no to cancel. And they might go, oh, I forgot, I normally have that booked on this day. I can't do it this week. They could send you a no, and now instead of having a no-show, right, you show up at their house and they're gone on vacation, you had this reminder automatically in the background message them so that you can get information. It just raises your confirmation rate and allows you to serve more clients instead of chasing them and miscommunicating to try to say, wait, I thought you were coming out on this day, not this day. So then pet birthday reminder, you can actually send a birthday reminder, again, automatically for your pets. And then ETA, this is the pre-built message that you can send to the person. Hey, client, I'm on my way now. And this is a couple of taps. You're leaving one appointment. You open up the next one, you hit send them a message and send them my ETA that I'm on my way, and off that message goes. So these are all automatic messages that can be sent from the tool. And the key to this, and I'm going to mention this here a little bit later, but the key to automatic messages is the ability to scale your operation. So again, let's say you're one person, that you have a van, you love serving by mobile grooming dogs, you just love dogs. This allows you to take the administrative work that you have to do. You have to do administrative work and you have to do grooming work. It decreases the overhead of that administrative work so you can spend more time focusing on being an excellent groomer. Now let's turn the situation a bit. Let's say that you are a person who has 2 vans and 2 groomers who go out and do it. And so now all of a sudden you've got multiple groomers, lots of clients. Well, someone has to manage your administrative side, making the bookings, managing the clients and the communication with the clients. Again, you're decreasing your administrative burden, And so what do you get to spend more time doing? You get to spend more time either helping, grooming dogs, if that's your passion, or I've actually even worked with a client who their passion was building their business. Their passion was, I want to talk to my customers, make sure they're the happiest customers in the world, and then I want to go get new customers. But at the time before using MoeGo, they couldn't do that because they were busy every day using pen and paper and sticky notes, trying to make sure everybody was scheduled and no balls got dropped. So if you're ever thinking of expanding, or maybe you're already a multi-van operation, you've already expanded, I want you to imagine what you could do if you didn't have to spend extra administrative time managing sending messages, sending reminders, creating appointments, rescheduling people, all of those tasks that are recurring pretty regularly. If you didn't have to spend the time doing that, where could you spend that time, and what extra value could you bring to your business or your company? So it's just something to think about as we go forward. All right, mapping. One of the nice things about our appointments is as I go into an appointment, let's just look at Tuesday, and I'm going to Bob Barton. Well, so I want to go over to Bob Barton. I can go down here to where his information is, and I can actually get, using his phone number here, using all of his client information, I can actually get mapping directions right to where he is. And so that really enables me to everything from the app. I have the app up and running as I go through my day. I see my appointments, I see my directions, I know where I'm going, and it saves the burden of having to jump from, well, I've got this app here and I've got this app here and I've got to bounce around. It allows you to quickly move from one appointment to the other to get maximum benefit that you can from those appointments. Let me, as I come into one more pause, I forgot to mention this earlier, but one of the things that is really nice about the messaging inside of this tool, let me go back over to our message point. So here's all my clients that I've recently sent a message to. And again, these are text messages. I can type in here in the tool and it sends a text. And then if they respond to the text, it comes back to me. These messages are unlimited with MoeGo. There's some other services that limit, you can have X number of messages. There's really a benefit of being able to control the way you communicate effectively with your clients. And that's one of the things that MoeGo shines at. In fact, if you do have a back office person who's managing from a remote location while you're on the truck or your team's out on the truck, there is a web version. Now, MoeGo is created as mobile first. It's designed to be run in a mobile environment, and that's where it really shines. But if someone is sitting back at the back on a computer answering the phone all day long, they can also see these messages right on their desktop and type out responses to them. So you could have one person managing your communication from a back office while the people in the field focus on getting to their appointments and providing great customer service. And so that's a nice feature, having unlimited communication. So I'm going to pause again at this point and see if anybody has any questions of any of the features that I've looked at. They can unmute and say those, or shoot them in the text or the chat message here. And if we don't have any questions, then I can just go forward with demoing a few more of our features. Any questions from anybody? Awesome. You guys might all have your hands wet as you're maybe doing a washing or something right now and unable to mute on the phone or unmute. But that's okay. We're just going to keep pressing forward. Hopefully you're getting some value out of this, seeing the features and seeing how some of it works. Oh, I see a chat comment came through. Let me pull up the chat real quick and see what that was. The chat said, oh, just hello. 0. On confirmed appointments, will the client get another reminder text? Excellent. We talked about that there's a reminder text that you can create that is to your settings. You can set when that reminder goes out. So in the automated message, if they don't confirm, you can set up that additional appointment reminder. What about a multi-dog stop and the owner changes their mind on one of their dogs? How do you correct him and the ticket, or they want to add a new dog to the ticket? So the real challenge there isn't necessarily adding or removing a dog. You can add or remove dogs as you go through this. So let's just look at an appointment. If someone has multiple dogs, you could add another one. The real challenge or the problem would be if you can fit it in your time schedule. So let's say you're trying to be super efficient with your time. Let me go to my map view here for Tuesday. I'm trying to be super efficient with my time, and I get out here to Bob Barton and he wants to add another dog. Well, my challenge is that Brady Boyd is right behind him, and it has an appointment coming up at 10:30. And if I allow an extra dog to be added at the beginning, can I actually fit that in to the washing? But let's say that you can. So let's go in here and look at this. So I've got the appointment coming up for Bob Barton. We're going to go look at this. And so he says, hey, I want to add another dog. And you look at your appointment and you say, you know what? Oh, I can add another dog. Then what you can do is go in here to the animals that you've already added. So you've got customer service, ticket comments. We want to go in here and edit our service. So we'll come back in here. That's our time estimate. Sorry, let's go into the customer real quick. So here's the customer. You've got Bully, the first dog. We're going to add another dog. So let's just say he has, I don't know, Bully is a great name. I think I might have already used that as another dog name, but that's all right. We're going to say they have an Aussie Doodle, which is a fun sounding dog. So now he's got two dogs. He's got Bully and he's got Tommy. So going back to our appointment now, we can change the service on this appointment so that we can add another dog, but that's going to change the timing and the other items as well. But let's go ahead and change our service here. So we've got full service and medium, and we're going to add down here a new service. Oh, well, hold on. Let's go back to this appointment.
Tap on the pet's profile.
Thank you. On the pet profile right here. Ah, thank you so much, Lily. Lily's listening in as well, those of you who know her from the community. And so I can add Tommy to it there as well. I love having you there as that voice in the background. Thank you, Lily. So you could add Tommy to that. You could update the appointment. And so now we can have a second service added for Tommy. Tommy's a different kind of dog. He's a small dog. So we'll go and add that as well. And we can add that service in there as well. Now, this is the tool helping me out because this was an early morning and says, wait, you want to add a 60-minute? You have a time conflict with the other appointment. Now, let me just tell you for a second, I've worked with a lot of tools before. And what a lot of tools would do at this point is say, you can't do that. You can't do this at all. No option. Error. One of the things that MoeGo does very well is that it understands that there could be a situation where you want to do something a certain way, even though it doesn't quite make sense, like booking two dogs on top of each other. Let's say, for example, that I really love this customer and they are one of my favorite customers and I would do anything to please them. And my next customer is actually just, you know, a friend of mine who I was going to go help and I probably wasn't even going to charge anything to or give them a discount or something. And so there might be information that I know as a groomer that the tool might not be aware of. MoeGo allows you then to make a decision, hey, there's a conflict, but maybe you want to do it anyway. And so what I could do is say, you know, I do want to proceed anyway. I want to go forward to that. Well, let's go back to our map view and see what that does to our calendar. Well, what's going to happen is we have a conflict, but that conflict is okay because I've reconciled it outside of the tool. And so I'm not as worried about that anymore. So I'm going to look at my appointments again. Let's go back to our appointments, looking at Tuesday. And I see those two conflicts, but I'm going to be able to reconcile them as I go forward into solving them. So you can add another dog. If there's a conflict, it'll let you be aware of that. If there's not, then ultimately you would need to communicate that with the person if you get there and they change their mind. Hey, I don't want to have that service. Let's go back and say that's the opposite of the situation. You get there and you want to do the service and they say, you know what, I don't want to do Tommy this time. I just want to do Bully. Then I could take off Tommy. I can hit update. And now the service is going to go back down to just being one dog. And at this point, it wouldn't be a conflict because I've updated it down to what it was originally. So you can change that when you arrive on site if anything else comes up. Great question, by the way. So thank you very much. Here's another one. What if they do confirm and then 6 weeks later, can there be another reminder text sent automatically? And so I'll just go back to the reminders, how that works. When you make an appointment, they have to confirm or they have the option to confirm right away. So if I made an appointment today for something in 6 weeks, then they would get a text message right away that says, hey, you've got an appointment set up. Do you want to confirm? That's this top reminder right here. A new appointment is booked. So they get that immediately. As soon as I put an appointment in the tool, new appointment is booked, gets sent immediately. This unconfirmed appointment reminder is again sent later on. If they've already confirmed, then they're not going to get another message unless that's something that's changed in the way that the auto messages go out right now. So let me pause to say another great benefit of MoeGo that I've experienced in working with them is that this is absolutely an ongoing development inside the tool. And so ideas like, you know what, let's just say, for example, that a lot of times I want to send a reminder even though they've confirmed already. Well, that's something that we could talk about as possibly a tweak or a change to give you the ability, do you want to send a reminder if they have confirmed or only if they have not confirmed? Those are the kind of features that we would love to hear about. And I'll even say briefly, there is an active user community where on Facebook, there are groomers who, about over 250 groomers in this Facebook community, who are discussing, here's how it's working for me. Hey, here's the messages that I send, or here's how I do it. And some really great conversation. And part of that conversation is new feature ideas. And so Lily's very active in that community, and she's listening to these new feature ideas. And the ideas that a lot of the community agrees on, ooh, that would be really helpful, get moved into the active development backlog, and you end up seeing them in a new release of the tool, which is a pretty cool thing. Not a lot of tools that you're using are you able to influence the development of that tool going forward, but MoeGo is one of those. All right. Okay, so we're going to move forward then into our next section. So I've talked a little bit about doing everything in one place. Let me show you in an appointment. So you've gone to the appointment, you're doing the appointment. So what happens now? So let's set up an appointment, or let's look at an appointment here, and let's go ahead and set up an appointment for right now. So I'm going to grab an existing client, and I'm going to go ahead and grab Frank, because he's my friend, Frank, and we're going to add a service. We're going to give him a large service. Sorry for going through these all so fast, but this is just basic adding services. I'm going to put it on Monday for right now, even though I'm closed right now. I'm not supposed to be working right now, but I'm going to go ahead and add him. So I'm going to go down here to Monday. We'll say we add him in at 7 o'clock. So he's starting right now. We're just going to get him going, coming up here at 7, or whatever your time zone is right now. For me, it's 7. So I'm going to add this appointment to Monday. So now this shows up. So Frank's here. I arrive on site. And so, oh, look, Frank just got a message. Your appointment is booked for this time. So Frank's excited, and I arrive at Frank's, and I get Lady out in the van, and I'm ready to start working. So one of the first things I do inside the app for this appointment, I'm going to check in. And so it's an unconfirmed appointment. Are you sure you want to check in? Yes, because I just created it. So now I'm checked in out here at Frank's. So I'm working away. I'm washing Lady. We're having a great time. We're singing in the van. Okay, I'm done. So now we finished. So I'm going to, inside of this appointment, come down here to check out. So when we're checking out, this is your closing process. So I've got the full service. That was the service that was predefined. So $140 set in there. I can put in a discount. If for whatever reason there was a discount to be built in, I could change that here. If the person decides to add a tip, I can add that as well, if it's either cash or if they want to maybe add it to their card. Ultimately, they come down to there's an amount due. Now, inside of the tool, you have the ability to do credit card processing, which is incredibly handy. You can just save a person's card on file, and then when it comes time to charge them, you can just charge them within the app, which is amazing. Or if there's a invoicing process, let's say you invoice and you want to charge them later, then you could go through that step and charge them later. But we're going to say, let's charge now. And the person is very, they like writing checks. So they're going to give me a check for this. So I'm going to charge now. They can, again, use a card or one on file, right? They have one on file. They could check out with cash, or they can check out with a check. And so they're going to check out with a check. I can put the check number in there. It's a brand new checkbook. So it's check number 1001. They write me a check for 140. I can save it. And now, boom, I'm done. And so I have served them. I finished it, and I can move on to my next appointment. But before you move on, you got a couple of options here. I can view the invoice and even send it to the customer if I wanted to do that. But this ask for review. Now, again, if you're a single person running a business, then asking for a review is a great way to get feedback on how am I doing? What did I do that was really great for you? And so you can ask them for a review that's going to send them a message. He hasn't reviewed my service before, so I'm going to send him a request to review. And you'll see that text message pop up. That can be customized inside the auto message feature. So I'm going to pull up this. How would you rate our service? Is it a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5? What number would you use to rate it? And so if Frank's like, man, you guys are awesome, he can send back a 5. If you're any bigger than one person doing your own operation, think about the benefit of this feedback for a second. You've got 2 vans, you've got a friend who is working the other van, you're working one van. All of a sudden, as part of your process, you see a message that a customer's not satisfied because this automatic message got sent out at the end of the end of the service. Hey, we finished. What do you think of the service? And the customer goes, it was a 1. Well, now you as the owner of the company can go, oh, something might be wrong here. I need to look into this. Now you can follow up with clients. You weren't there on the ground, but you got feedback that here's what's actually happening. You can follow up and make sure your clients are very, very happy with the service they receive. But you notice I got another text message. Let's go back and look at that. You can add in the ability, we're so excited you liked our service. If someone gives you a 4 or a 5, and you can customize this yourself, you could link it in to your Yelp page, or you could link it into another management, profile management that says here's rankings for your service. You can actually ask them to rank you online so that when someone Googles mobile dog groomer in whatever city they're in, they could see you come up as a highly rated service provider. Now, in the event that it's a low rating, you get that information and you can follow up and do what you need to do to make it right. So imagine you have 8 vans going out across the city. How do you know if they're doing a good job or not? Well, this feedback tool allows you to keep tabs on how satisfied your clients are and if they're getting good service, even though you're not on every one of those calls. So it's a great feature if you're working on your own with your own van, or a great feature if you've scaled and you've got several vans that you're working with. Let's see. So I'm going to go back to our invoice here and just wrap up by showing you the invoice for that. And so you've got Frank, you've done it, you can pull up his invoice. Here's the invoice there, and you can email the receipt to the person who's there so that they can have a copy of that on their records if they want it. All right, and it's recorded, it was paid by check at the time. And at the top as well, you can see checked in and checked out times. So you can see how long the service took itself as you go back and look at metrics for how to do things better as a company. Okay, that being said, I've got a couple more questions. Let's see. Can an invoice be sent by text or email only? And Lily, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think at this moment it is by email only, unless you take a screenshot of it and send it via text. I don't think there's a text option at this point for invoices. Is that correct? Excellent. I got a confirmation from Lily that yes, that is correct. Right now it is email only, but definitely sending a text message would be a feature that I'm sure we'll be looking for in the future. That would be very handy as well. Good question. Thank you for sharing that. All right, so I see we've got about 11 minutes or so left in our time here. And so again, I want to pause and ask for any questions. I've got a couple more comments and things that I can show you, but what I really want is to make sure that you're understanding the value that you can get from using MoeGo as a tool. And again, either as one van, it's just me grooming dogs because I love grooming dogs, or if maybe you have a fleet of vans and you're trying to maximize your effectiveness with your entire fleet. So if you have a specific question or something that I haven't hit on that you'd like me to hit on as we're wrapping up, put it in the chat, or you can unmute and say it. I'll read a few of these questions unless I hear one coming through. So one of the questions I got here is, how can you use the color codes effectively? Can I code each client for their area? I'm so glad you asked that question. So one of the great features that you have here for each of your customers, I'll go into the customers, is you can apply color codes to those customers. And so down here, we've got, let's go to their appointment, and inside the appointment, you can add a color code. Now you've got these 10 or so colors. And so what's the point of adding color codes? The benefit comes when you want to quickly look at your monthly view, either on your phone or perhaps you want to look at it on a computer. You want to look at your monthly view and you've decided that there's a way you want to segregate your dogs. And so one person that I've worked with segregated their dogs by how many weeks their reoccurring service was. So some dogs were washed every 4 weeks, some dogs were washed every 6, some were washed every 8. And so they used a color code system. These are my 4-week dogs, these are my 6-week dogs, these are my 8-week dogs. They use a color code system to allow them to quickly identify which dogs are which. And so let me save this appointment. So I just made that one orange. If I go back to my appointment screen, so let's go to appointments, and I want to look at the month view. let's go into the month view right here, the monthly view. I'll actually be able to see an orange because it was color-coded orange. I'll be able to see an orange dog here that's my orange dog. And so if I make orange, let's say my repeating customers, all my repeating customers are orange, then I could look at this and very quickly see, oh, I see my repeating customers. That's very handy. And so another question that you had there is, can you code each client for their area? And the way you would do that is in another feature. Yes, you can use color codes to do that, but the way that it would be best to do that is to use what's called tags. And so I'm going to go back in here to Bob Barton. He's kind of my demo client here. And if I scroll down towards the bottom, there's this section called tags. Now, if you think of tags, it's a way of filtering your entire list. And so let's just say I divide up the city that I'm working in into sections, right? So I have north, south, east, and west, just to keep it simple. So I'm going to add a new tag that is north. And those are all of my northern clients. And I can add other tags if I want to, but I'm just going to add north for now. So Bob, I'm going to say he's part of the northern quadrant of the city, right? He's up to the north. What that allows me to do, now that I've added north to him, is from here, when I'm looking at all of my customers, I can actually filter based on those tags. And so that lets me see pretty quickly, show me all of my customers who are in the north. Show me all of my customers who are in the south. Show me all of my customers who like receiving a mint when I finish their dog grooming, put a mint in their dog's mouth, or whatever the case is. You can create tags on any of those things that allow you to quickly segregate your list so that you can see it very effectively and very efficiently, sorting out their information. So color codes is useful in your monthly view so that you can quickly look at your month and see based on color some significant information to you, and you can decide what the most significant way to color code your appointments are. Or if you want to just put information on your customers, you want to do that using tags, because then you can filter based on those tags and quickly pull up everybody who is a high value customer who has X, Y, or Z criteria about them. And that will allow you to isolate down the people that you want to work with or schedule if you're in a particular area. That reminds me really quickly, I do want to show you as well. These are great questions, by the way. Thank you. I've got one or two more, so that's good. But let's just say I want to add another appointment, right? And so I want to understand what's happening nearby to me that I can add. So let me go back here real quick. Bottom right-hand corner, you see this spy glass, the magnification glass. If I tap on that, it's going to bring up a search, nearby clients. And what that's going to give me is some filtering criteria that I can say, show me clients within a certain radius of where I am. So let me back up a second. The best use of this nearby feature is I go out to a place and I get there and I knock on the door and they're gone. For whatever reason, they didn't confirm with me and I lost them. And so they're not there. So I'm just sitting in my van with an hour and a half available. That's a great time to pull up the nearby feature and say, hey, within 5 miles, show me someone whose last service was, and I can put a criteria on there. And here I can also use who's in the north section, right? You can put in that segment, but show me those people. And it can do a search and show you people who are in that criteria. So in this case, it's got Frank. Well, Frank's upcoming service is on this time, but if there's somebody who hadn't been groomed for a while, they could show up here and I could say, oh, or I have a great example. Let me switch this to all. So I'm gonna look for everybody. I'm gonna take off the tag north because that only Frank has that on him. And this should show me now all the people who have services. These are all my clients, right? There they all are out there. Hey, look, these couple of black ones, when I click on it, they've never had a service. So why don't we give them a service? I've got an extra hour. I can pull them up and I could send them a text message, or I could call them and say, hey, Glinda, can I come out and groom Rex? I just had an opening become available. I've got the next hour and a half. We haven't seen Rex for X number of days. Why don't I come out and groom him right now? Okay, back over to your question. So we talked about color codes. We talked about tagging. Another question, when you run a report, what day is the start day and what day is the end day? Okay, I didn't really jump into reporting, but there is a whole report section over here. And so at the top of your reporting section, you can see information that if you complete everything you've booked, what kind of revenue you can be expecting. There's some logic built in here to help you improve. Tips and tax, it can show you your breakdown of how much your tips are coming in, your current utilization, right? Your new customers. And so the way you manage your information is this top area today. When I tap on today, it shows me what I can filter for. So I can filter for last week, last month, today, this week, this month, next week, or next month. And so those are the values that I can use to determine what my reports are actually showing. And so it shows you your top 5 customers by their spending and a review of how many reviews you've requested, how many responses you've gotten, and how many leads you've gotten on Yelp, Facebook, and Google. So that's a great question. Lastly, let's see. Tags would be good for the areas then. Color codes are repeat or rotational. If an appointment is repeated, your color codes will repeat with it. So let's say I have an appointment and I repeat it and I color it. Those ones that I repeat are going to carry that color. If it is a one-time appointment and then I schedule them later, I'll have to color code that new appointment with the new color. So when you color code an appointment and repeat it, all the appointments in the repeat get the color. If you simply just add a color to one, it's not going to automatically tag on others there. So you've got to add them one at a time. Okay. Oh, can you color code the client? Great question. You can't. Tags are useful for the client. Color coding is on the appointments. And Lily, if I say anything wrong, I'm sure you'll correct me, but the clients themselves are tagged, whereas your appointments are what's color coded. And so as I look down here, you don't actually have a color code feature for your clients. Okay, so we're about 3 minutes out. I just want to say again, a big thank you to everybody for joining and listening, or if you're watching this perhaps afterwards, watching the recording. I'm just going to say there are a lot of features. I've kind of scratched the surface and bounced around between how to use it, but let me just give you this big picture idea. The more that you have an effective tool that decreases your administrative overhead, the more you can focus on building your client base, serving your customers, and providing stellar service and growing your business. And so the real benefit of having a tool like MoeGo is in decreasing that administrative overhead so you can provide great service and even scale beyond. The more that you can train someone to do what maybe your own process is in your head, if you can create a tool and a process that you can hand off to somebody, that frees you up to grow the business and to ultimately see it scale beyond what just you can accomplish. So the real benefit in my mind inside of MoeGo is I think about consulting businesses for process improvement and for finding ways to run their company lean and for technology solutions. MoeGo is that technology solution that allows you to find more money that you maybe are leaving behind because of inefficient scheduling, inefficient processes, or spending time doing administrative work that you're not spending time grooming and actually making money from the grooming. So that's really the benefit of it. I want to go ahead and say I'm going to stop sharing my phone, and I'm going to share the website with you very quickly on MoeGo's page. I want to let you know that when you are starting, if you want to start and see what MoeGo has to offer, you can start at the free level of MoeGo, which is a great way to start. You will be able to have 100 appointments per month, and you can put in your clients and your pets and your services. There are some features that are limited until you jump up to the paid level. And that's really where you start to see some of the more advanced things that I demoed here. So the nearby feature, smart scheduling, map visualization, some of those things are at the next level. And then when you really start scaling, you start saying, wow, my administration is going down. I can find new customers. And you really start scaling. That's where you go to a rising star level, and you can go beyond 100 appointments per month. You can actually do unlimited appointments at that point. Now, just think for a second, with whatever level of service you're already offering to your clients, the real benefit here is improving your processes so that you can be the best service provider that you can be. And so I want to encourage you, if you are looking for some more information about where you can go from here, or if you want to sign up for a trial or even an additional demo, or have even some more questions to be answered, you can definitely reach out to me in Facebook. I'm Isaac Garcia in Facebook, and I'll share my Facebook contact information in the chat. But do that either on Facebook. We also have a user group that you can be involved in. And so that allows you to communicate, like I said, development ideas, and you can see other groomers. It's a really great community to actually get some benefit out. So I just put my information in the chat window. And so it's Isaac Garcia is my name. I'd be happy to help you with that going forward. Also, if you are just need some help, you can also connect with MoeGo on their website. Lily is their connection person there. And hopefully what we're able to do today is show you some of the value you can get out of the tool. And my hope is that you have continued success in your business. We'll do some more of these webinars to show some additional features or answer other questions. But I do, again, want to thank you for taking your time today. I know all of your time is very valuable, and spending this time learning about what can be done, how you can improve your business, I think is a great investment that you won't regret. So again, for MoeGo and for the entire team, this is Isaac Garcia, and Lily's here as well. I just want to say thank you again for spending this time with us, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Thanks very much. We'll see you either on Facebook or online or at a future webinar. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.